Ah, the Ford Fiesta, one of the only cars on the planet to have a genuine presence on all 6 continents. And we promised you a face-off between the latest Vauxhall Corsa and the latest Ford Fiesta. And so this is the latest Ford Fiesta, the ST Line.
The Ford Fiesta, it's been with us since 1976, although British road users weren't able to get their hands on a right-hand drive version until 1977. That means that the British-based Fiesta is exactly 40 years old. And in that time, over 16 million Fiestas have been sold, making it the 3rd best model of Ford ever after the Escort and the F-Series pickup truck in the United States. But the Fiesta has always been a sublime little car, incredibly functional, incredibly practical, and very user-friendly, down to earth, no nonsense, no mucking about. And that is very much what the new ST line is about too. This car doesn't do things by halves, it doesn't set the world on fire, but it is incredibly good at what it's good at. This is a very nimble car too. You can hop around from corner to corner and gear change to gear change with pure simplicity and ease. The Fiesta really is the pride of Essex, and it's easy to see why. It does an incredible job. And this one in particular is even more impressive than its predecessors, especially for those who like a car with style but don't want to spend too much money for the benefit. If we're going by stats, let's talk about it. The Corsa VXR is a 1.6 litre manual petrol. This is a 1 litre manual petrol. The Corsa VXR's top speed is 143 miles an hour. This, 122. Not far off, but not in the same league. 0 to 60, 6.8 seconds in the Corsa VXR. In the ST line, 9.4. Again, considering it's not a direct rival, that is not bad going. The VXR has 202 brake horsepower. This only has 124, so you're definitely not going to get that same punch from the engine. However, where it fails in terms of speed, it makes up for in everything else. The Corsa VXR, 37.7 miles to the gallon. This does 65.7. So for a car that looks almost identical in style, you've got a lot more money in your wallet. Oh, and it doesn't just extend to fuel consumption either. To tax the Corsa VXR for a year is £210. This costs nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing. No tax needed at all. The 1 litre manual petrol engine is so economical. The taxman's just gonna let it slide. So why do we rumble on and rave about the Fiesta? Well, it's because of one simple thing: simplicity. The design is so perfect, it's barely even been changed in the last 40 years. Only the modernisation techniques that the car industry has gone through anyway have been implemented to the Fiesta. It's still as bog standard and as reasonable and user-friendly as it's always been. The only thing that's really changed is the technology. Everything else has been pretty perfect, to be honest. And this one, just like the Corsa VXR, comes with Bluetooth as standard. So again, when you're driving down the road at 70 miles an hour on the motorway, the experience is pretty much the same. Difference is, you've spent a lot less on your Fiesta ST line than matey boy over there has on his Corsa VXR.
And let's be honest, one of the best appeals of the Corsa VXR is how it looks. It's sexy, it's swish, it's stylish. And the Fiesta ST line is no different. If anything, it's more visually stunning. And it's similar on the road too.
In terms of control and drive and speed off the turns, there's only a tiny bit of difference. Yes, there's a deficiency of 80 horsepower, but on a British road, that doesn't make much difference. If you've got your thinking cap on, you are spending far too much money on a car of that type, when you could be spending a lot less for a similar experience. this makes more sense in the UK, to be honest. This is the better option. And let's not forget, this is the same company with the same technology that's taken an amazing amount of plaudits in the world of motorsport. The Fiesta is the model that Ford are currently using in the World Rally Championship when it replaced the Focus. So this is their prime rally car, and it's their rallycross favourite too. The Fiesta has won the Global Rallycross Championship in America in 2011, 2012, 2013 and 2014. It is a world beater. In fact, the Fiesta is such a good racing car that in the European Touring Car Championships Super 1600 class, a Fiesta has been the championship winning car 7 out of 9 years.
But here's the big question. Can the latest Fiesta really challenge the latest Corsa, even though they're not in the same league?
I'm getting a lot of pleasure from it. Okay, this is not a mad car. This is not a trousers on fire, throwing things around at 5,000 miles an hour. You're not going to get that from this car, but what you are going to get is a lot of the comfort, luxury and style that you might get with the Corsa VXR for a lot less money in the long run. A lot less money. For a start, it's £2,000 cheaper than the Corsa VXR. Then you're spending 200 quid a year less on tax. So let's say you own it for 5 years, you've saved another grand right there. As we've already mentioned, this car does nearly 70 miles to the gallon, compared to the Corsa VXR that can't even do 40 miles to the gallon. So again, Fiesta ST Line, not a bad bet for your buck. It's not crazy, it's not mad, it's not gittish, it's just brilliant. In every single respect, this car ticks every box. And it does so with flair. On the outside, it's a stunner, and you will turn heads. But on the inside, it's pure intelligentsia. So at the moment, yes, if you're about 12 and you want to go sideways on every single corner, on every single road in Britain, the Corsa VXR isn't a bad choice. However, some of us like to have a license with no points on it. And that's why we go for this. Yes, Ford? You've still got it.